Phasmophobia just released development preview number 21, which is going to give us an early look at what is to come in 2026. Welcome back, Ghost Hunters. We've got some news for you. Today, we're pulling back the curtain just a little on some of the updates coming to Phasmophobia in 2026. Next year is looking to be one of the biggest in the game's history as we build towards launching Phasmophobia 1.0, bring the game to Nintendo Switch 2, and continue to evolve and iterate on the game. Reaching that 1.0 milestone will be a huge moment for not only the game, but Kinetic Games and, of course, you, the community. It was just announced recently that Phasmophobia was going to be coming to Nintendo Switch 2. It is something that has been asked for a long time if the game would ever come to the Switch. We've been waiting a long time for it, and it looks like it's coming next year. We hope you look forward to everything we have in store. In this development preview, we'll be looking at the player character update, our Tanglewood rework, as well as sharing a little on what Phasmophobia 1.0 will look like. The game has been in early access for a long time as they have been updating it over time. Over the past few years, they've been making a lot of custom work put into the game, so we're going to finally see at 1.0 the full release. Player character update. Originally, we shared that our player character update would be launching in 2025. Unfortunately, we weren't able to meet that date, but for good reason. As we saw with Chronicle earlier this year, giving the update more breathing room to evolve pays off. So while there's a little longer to wait, we're excited to share that we'll be launching the player character update in Q1 of 2026. Of course, one of the biggest features of this update is the ability to customize your Ghost Hunter in-game with free cosmetics and different looks. However, a major other part of this update is an overhaul of the player's character itself, and we wanted to focus on that today. Cosmetics is something that has been discussed in Phasmophobia for a long time. It's a way for you to customize your hunter to look the way you want it to, different shirts, different hats, whatever it might be. So we're finally going to be able to do that with the new player models, and that's why it looks like it's taken a little bit of extra time because they want to make sure it's right. We've created brand new character models, improved animations, and fine-tuned how it feels to play Phasmophobia. Our overall aim is to create the most immersive experience we can, and we believe our current player character models and animations can snap, pun intended, you out of the game with a disjointed arm there, a bendy back here. With these changes, our characters will move with more realism and present a more lifelike experience for players. I really do think that this is something that's going to be contested amongst the community. The bendy back players or the weird death poses that happen. I don't know. It's part of the charm of the game. While yes, it can be a little bit silly at the same time, it really brings entertainment value to it. So if they're going to be changing that to be more lifelike, I think they're really going to have to hit a home run when it comes to making it feel more lifelike. This update is a key part of our road to Phasmophobia 1.0, creating the most immersive experience possible, but more on that later. Below are two screenshots showing our new character models that players will be able to use from the moment the update drops. As you can see, our new models present a huge leap in quality over the current in-game ones. You can see that the current player model is on the left. What looks to be the new player model is on the right. There's a very obvious difference when it comes to quality between the two. And the same thing goes for this one as well. You have the original character on the left, and then you have the new one on the right. I'm assuming with the way that the hair looks with the one on the right that it's going to be able to flow a little bit, maybe instead of just being so matte. The other feature we wanted to highlight in today's preview is our new animation and player movement systems that will be making their way to Phasmophobia as part of this update. A few examples of these animations and movements are opening and closing doors with hands, equipment swapping, picking up, dropping, placing equipment, injecting tier 3 sanity medication. So it looks like they have an example here of a tier 1 EMF being turned on and off rather than it just being an automatic on off. You actually get to see the motion of the player's hand going in and turning it on and turning it off. Something that I can notice that I think is a little bit subtle is that I think you can actually see the player's character model here as a shadow. If you've played Phasmophobia before, you know you're basically a vampire outside of the random objects, your hand, other things that you may be holding. But it looks like here, you're able to see the full arm. You're able to see what looks to possibly be their head or their part of their body. Are we finally going to have full body shadows in Phasmophobia? I'm not sure how I feel about it. I like the idea of it being more realistic where you would actually be turning it on and off. I think the only downside to this is going to be the time. When you go to turn it on, you have to wait for the hand to come up, the hand to turn it on, the hand to turn it off, that sort of stuff. So I guess we'll have to see how it feels when we play the game. And of course, new death and revive animations, which we're giving you a sneak peek at below. On the left, you can see what looks to be a brand new death animation that they're going to be adding. The player literally levitates off the ground, getting choked as their head gets snapped around. That should be fun to see in the game. but also a revive animation, which I didn't even think about, which is a really great idea. So if a player gets revived based either on the monkey paw or maybe the high priestess card from the tarot cards, you'll actually get to see them get revived and not an instant pop-up, which is going to look really, really cool in game. We'll detail the update in more depth as we get closer to its launch, so stay tuned. Tanglewood Rework. Launching alongside the player character update will be our reworked version of 6 Tanglewood Drive. We know that the news of us reworking Tanglewood was met with a bit of trepidation, but we hope that seeing the work we did with both Bleasdale and Grafton Farmhouse has reassured that these reworks are all about leveling up the location rather than changing anything too drastically. So it looks like we have some preview images of possibly what is to come with Tanglewood. Tanglewood is by far the most played map out of any map in Phasmophobia. It is the most beloved map by anybody. My favorite is Willow. It's a nice map. It's an easier map. It's smaller, so it's really easy to get adapted to it. And you can figure out where all the rooms are, the item locations, everything. So them changing it was obviously met with a little bit of feedback. People are afraid that it is going to be ruined and it's not going to feel the way that it does. My hope was that they were going to be taking Tanglewood and basically leaving the bones as they are, leaving the map layout the way it is, and just having new assets, new items. From the look of it, we can see the living room, which is looking very different than what we're used to. It's really hard to tell. This is a really dark hallway. My guess is that this is the hallway here going to the kitchen, and here's the hallway to the door. This couch is kind of the same, where you have the couch and the table, and this was there was a little nightstand, I think, where the tarot cards would be in the corner. My guess is that this is what that is. It looks really, really tight around this coffee table, so I'm curious to see what kind of looping is going to be happening around this, but I'm sure that we're all going to be trying anyway. On to the next image, we can see the kitchen, which completely removes the looping spot from the middle. So I don't know how I feel about that. I loved that there was looping in not only the kitchen, but there was also looping inside of the garage. I guess we'll see what happens, but it looks really nice. I mean, if anything, it looks great. It looks like a normal kitchen. A lot that they've been doing with these maps with the revamps and the new additions is adding a lot of interactable things. So I can only imagine that they are going to be doing the same thing with this one. When reworking Tanglewood, we wanted to make sure it provided a similar experience to the one the ghost hunters know and love to this day while still feeling fresh and exciting. To that end, while the map layout remains very similar to what you can play in game today, the rework will feature a host of new interactions, a few small layout changes, and more. So basically exactly the way that we want it. Leave the layout the way it is for the most part, add some new interactions, some new stuff to make it feel new. That way everybody's happy. For those ghost hunters who fancy piecing a story together, a mystery lies behind 6 Tanglewood Drive that's just waiting to be uncovered. Another thing that they're adding to the game as time goes on is more lore. They've been doing it with basically all the new maps. I'm really curious to see what they do with Tanglewood. Both the reworked 6 Tanglewood Drive and our player character update will be launching early next year, so stay tuned for more details on both as we get closer to their release. Phasmophobia 1.0, and you can see that they have Horror 2.0 crossed out. While there's plenty more up our sleeves for Phasmophobia in 2026, it's all ultimately leading to what will be the biggest moment since we launched the game in early access in 2020, Phasmophobia 1.0. Our aim with the 1.0 launch is to be able to, as a team, look at Phasmophobia after many years of updating, iterating and evolving, and know we've fulfilled our vision for the game. Previous updates such as Chronicle and the upcoming player character update have all gone a long way to creating the true immersive experience we know Phasmophobia is and will continue to be. And yes, that includes what was previously known as Horror 2.0. Our horror update will be the meatiest part of the 1.0 release and will give even the most seasoned ghost hunter a host of new scares and surprises. While we aren't going to share too many details on it as we want that 1.0 release to feel as fresh and exciting as the original release did, keep an eye out for a few details throughout the year. Horror 2.0 has been teased for probably going on 4 years, 3 or 4 years, and everybody has been waiting for the game to get scarier, for new interactions, new events. I think for me, the reason that Phasmophobia has always been such a replayable game is not because of the horror aspect, because of the puzzle aspect. And when this game was first created, it wasn't created with, I want to jump scare the player in mind and I want it to be horror. It was more created for suspense and for the puzzle aspect of it. And I think that's what makes it such a replayable game, is it's a puzzle for you to figure out. Yes, there are jump scares on the way, ghost events happening in your face. However, them adding these new events, new interactions, new scares is going to breathe a new life into the game. And it's going to bring that scare that people have been wanting. And I don't think it's going to be a cheap jump scare. I think it's going to be a lot better than that. Phasmophobia 1.0 will launch in 2026 for all players across all available platforms at the same time. We can't wait to share all of this and more with you next year, Ghost Hunters. As always, stay tuned to our social channels and Discord server for the latest updates on all things Phasmophobia. Happy holidays and happy hunting. Thanks, Kinetic Games team. If you're watching this video the same day that the development preview came out, this is Christmas Day. So this is when they decided to give us all of this new awesome information. I am super excited for 2026. Phasmophobia has so much to offer, and it is going to be doing so much, especially kicking off the year early on with the player character update and Tanglewood Rework. Now, we also know, if you go and look at the Trello, which is public information, they have a lot of the maps on the Trello to be reworked. And it's basically any map that came out that did not have assets that they originally created, they are going to be recreating. And they have done that so far with Grafton, with Bleasdale. They basically took away Sunny Meadows 1.0 and made 2.0 when they got rid of Asylum. So they are redoing and making better all of these maps to make them feel fresh, make them feel new, but make it feel like it's theirs. I am so excited for 2026. I hope you guys are too. Please make sure to comment down below. Let me know what you guys are most excited about, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.